The object of today's lesson is to learn about Python dictionaries and list comprehensions. Alright, so dictionaries are a very neat way of storing data using Python. They're sort of like lists, but they're more flexible. And they don't really have an order. So let's give it a try. So x equals curly brackets. So that's the symbol for a new dictionary. And we can just store inputs and outputs, sort of like a function. For example, x of hello equals goodbye. X of a, x of a equals b. X of 3 equals 2. So let's look at it so far. So print x. So it's just storing data, and it doesn't have to fit any pattern. So hello is stored with goodbye. Think of it as like a dictionary, and this is the definition. The definition of hello is goodbye. For example, x of hello is called the key, and the value is goodbye. X of a, well, the answer is B. X of 3 is 2. So they're pretty much like arrays and lists, and you could use them like a list. You could say x of 19 equals -1. X of t equals 4. And here's our list. Notice you have pairs key value, comma, key value, comma. The colon separates the key from the value. So the key 3 is paired with the 2. Key of 19 is paired with the -1. And the key of t is paired with the 4. Now, one nice thing about dictionaries is you can use keys that are what are called tuples. So for example, we can say something like this. Let's start again. So x is an empty dictionary. X of 1, 1 equals 0. X of 1, 0 equals 2. X of 0, 0, think of this as ordered pairs, equals 3. Like a function of many variables. X of 0, 1 equals -1. And if we print out x, you see the keys now are what are called tuples. A tuple is a list of numbers with an order, but it's sort of like a list, but there's some properties that make them a little bit different, like you can't change them once they're formed. So what we're really saying are things like this. What is the value that goes with the pair 1, 0? And the answer is 2. But notice you don't need to use the parentheses for the pair 1, 0. You could simply say 1, 0, and Python automatically knows to add the missing parentheses. So let's combine dictionaries with something very powerful, which is called a list comprehension. So this list comprehension is going to look a bit strange at first. So suppose first we make a list of the first 100 numbers. So if we do something like this, y equals range 100. Let's print out y. Okay, so it gives us the numbers from 0 to 100. And we know that we could do a for loop with them. So we could say something like, for I in range of 100, or you could say 0 to 100. First 100 numbers greater than or equal to 0, less than 100. We can simply, well, hold on one second. So let's say x is equal to a blank list. Okay. So for I in range from 0 to 100, what we're going to do is store in x the first 100 numbers. So we'll say x append I plus 1. And if we print x, you see we have our list of the first 100 numbers. Now, there's a much, much easier way to do this in Python, and that's called a list comprehension. So let me show you first, and we'll explain it in a few minutes. So x is equal to the list of all numbers n plus 1 for n in the range 0 to 100. And let's print x. Let's see what x is. Notice that's it. So what did we just do here? Well, what we did is we said, let's construct numbers of the form n plus 1. But what is n? Well, for n is a number from 0 to 99. So basically, take all numbers from 0 to 99 in that order, add 1 to them, and make a list of those numbers. You see how easy this is compared to the for loop we had to write before? This is literally one line of code. Let's say we want the even numbers between 0 and 100. Only the even numbers, right? So we would say, well, let's try it like this. For n, the set of all numbers n. Where is n? N is in the range of from 0 to 101. Let's get the even numbers from 0 to 100. But we only want the even values of n, right? So what we say is if n modulo 2 is equal to 0. You could put a parentheses around here if you want for readability. We don't need it, but so if n divided by 2 has remainder 0, it's an even number. And if this is true, then it will allow n to be stored in our list. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's print x. And we could see we have the even numbers from 0 to 100. How about the first even squares? That's very easy. Just raise n to the power of 2, like this. N squared, where n is a number from 0 to 101, but only if it's even. Alright, print x. How many numbers are here? Length of x. 51 numbers. Okay. Now let's see something really neat and start looking at ordered pairs. So let's let x equal the set of all pairs A, B, C for A in range from 1 to, well, let's look at, let's let A range from 1 to 5, so we'll say 1 to 6. Now we'll make sure A could be 1 through 5. For B in range 1 to 6. For C in range 1 through 6. All right, let's see what this looks like. This is our list of 3 tuples, ordered tuples, 3 numbers ordered, and it's all the numbers from 1 to 5 in groups of 3. But let's say we only wanted B to be an even number. So we could say if B modulo 2 double equals 0. And that's it. So now B must be an even number, but A and C don't have to be. And let's say, you know what? We want C to be smaller. So let's say if B is an even number and C is less than 3. So let's require that the number C in this ordered pair should be less than 3, and we'll make B an even number. Okay, and there you go. How many numbers fit this criteria? Length of x. There are 20 numbers that fit here. So this is what list comprehensions can do. They can very quickly create for you lists of things, and you can save a lot of time by not having to write tedious for loops. So let's put everything together and write a program that will make a list of the first 100 numbers that are odd, and we'll add them up. So the goal is make a list of the first 100 odd numbers and add them up. And let's use list comprehensions to do that. Alright, so x is equal to the list of all n for n in the range. The first 100 odd numbers, so we need numbers from 1 to, well, 200. 202 if we want to be safe. We can count them after and fix it. If n divided by 2 remainder is equal to 1, close the list. Alright, so this should give us all the numbers from 1 to 202 that are odd. And let's see how many numbers we have. The length of x is 101. So we have too many numbers here, right? So let's go back and change this to a 200. So that's from 1 to 199. That would give us the 100 numbers we want. So let's double check. Length of x, 100 numbers. Let's print out x. So here are the first 100 odd numbers. Alright, so let's add them up two ways. First, let's do a for loop. So for I in range 100, 0 to 99. Oh, we forgot something. We want to add them up, right? So let's let s equal 0. For I in range 100, colon, s equals s plus the ith number of the list x. So we're taking our numbers from here, one at a time, starting from the 0th number, the first number, the second number, the third number. And let's do a running sum. So print s. Alright, so it looks like if we add up the sum of the first 100 odd numbers, we get all these perfect squares, right? Okay. If we go back to our list, we can simply do this, get the sum by taking the sum of x. So a little bit quicker. So this concludes the basic introduction to Python.